Seasonal crafts are fun, but we need everyday decor too. Hey Bestie, this is Lisa. Welcome or welcome back. This functional kitchen DIY, I've got these wire baskets. I've got a page from a calendar at Dollar Tree, some zip ties, and a piece of, I guess it's like a paneling I got at Lowe's for free in their scrap pile. I'm going to rip around the edges of my calendar page just because I want it to blend a little better when I attach it to this piece of paneling. There it is, all done. Now I'm just going to position this on here and see exactly where I want to put it. The colors just really blended well. I'm going to use some Mod Podge and I'm going to start in sections and I'm going to attach this calendar page. And as always, I will use my brayer, which I love to use because it helps it make better contact. Now I'm just going to complete the rest of it and then I'm going to put some Mod Podge over the top. I'm going to take my Waverly Antique Wax and I'm just going to do some dry brushing where I put some on my brush, wipe most of it off, and then drag it around the edges of the picture and then also all over this piece of paneling. I wanted it to look a little more distressed and that helped blend with the calendar page as well because it was a little darker. You could add as much or as little as you like. Now I'm going to put my baskets where I want them and then draw some dots where I'm going to need to drill holes to attach the baskets to this piece of paneling. If you haven't figured it out, this is going to be a cool little produce holder. Now I'm just going to put a piece of wood underneath to lift it up a little bit. I'm going to take my drill and I'm just going to make the holes where I made those little dots. And then I'll do the other two. Now I'm going to take this very thick nautical rope from Dollar Tree. I'm going to start about halfway across on the bottom, glue it to all of the edges, and then what's left I will leave up on the top as a hanger. Then I'll add one more piece across the top, and this just gives it a nice finished look. Of course, this is optional, but I like the way it turned out. There you go. Now you can see how it all looks. I'm going to reinforce the back with some hot glue. Obviously, I don't want to do it on the front because you might see it. And I'll go around the whole thing. Now I'm going to come in from the back with one of my zip ties. And then I'm going to pull it through the basket around some of the wires and back through the hole to the back side. And then I'll attach it and pull it tight. I'll snip off the excess and I'll do the same thing. I ended up adding a second one to each to give it more stability. I love how this turned out. It's so cute and it's very functional. Winning combination. What do you think? This Dollar Tree foam board hack, I've got a piece of foam board and I'm just going to trace a square using that picture that I had. Now I'm going to cut it out with my blade and then I'm going to draw another square right in the middle and I'll use my blade to cut that out. I just found something that was that size and traced it over the top. Anything that doesn't push out quickly, I just turn it over and I just go ahead and score it again. Now I'm going to use my ruler to do a diagonal line from the inside square to the corner of the outside square. And I'm going to turn this into 4 pieces and cut them. And this will be a picture frame type of a thing, but it will have those beveled or mitered edges. I'm going to use my Nimbus colored chalk paint by Waverly, and I'm just going to do a coat over all 4 pieces. And then I'll do the sides as well. I'm going to take my steel colored chalk paint. I'm going to use that to dry brush. So I'll put some on my brush, wipe most of it off, and then drag it around the edges. And I'll do a little bit in the center too, just to give it a distressed finish. And there it is. And I'm going to just do a little bit in the middle, like I said, just very lightly. I watch you as you drive. Now I'm going to turn it over because I'm going to attach it from the back. So I'm going to put some hot glue on it and see if that will be good enough, kind of, rub it in with my little spatula. And then I'm going to add a piece of masking tape over each corner just to solidify it and make sure it stays in place. And I can't help but smile. Got this gorgeous striped ribbon from burlapfabric.com. And I'm just going to cut a piece that I can pull around the top and attach in the back. And that will be like what will hold this wreath we're about to make with this greenery I got from Amazon. So So I'm going to cut the little pieces and start shaping into a round wreath. So at first, it's not like a perfect circle because we are working with a square, but then I'll take some little pieces and start filling in, and now you see a circle there. And then I'll just fill in any like holes or anywhere that it needs to be a little fuller. You can make this as large or small as you like. This is the size I thought would look the best with this frame. And I'm just trying to create kind of a farmhouse looking frame, and then with the wreath on it with this ribbon around the center, and I'll hot glue it to the back and then seal it together just by hot gluing. This gives it that really pretty farmhouse look. I'm going to take a little piece of twine, tie it in a knot with the two ends, and create a little hanger that we're going to hide on the back of the ribbon so nobody sees it. All we see is the pretty ribbon. And just attach that there, and then take another little piece of the ribbon and cover up my knot with some hot glue just to secure it. It's very lightweight. Remember, we're using foam board here. And now I've got a beautiful hidden hanger on the back. I think this turned out gorgeous. I love this one. I think this one is my favorite today. You have to let me know if it's yours. Every change has a reason. Dollar Tree floating shelf craft. I'm going to turn this into a really cute farmhouse shelf. I'm going to use some half beads that I got on Amazon. Now, I was going to use that metal windmill, but I changed my mind. So they always come with the screws that you need to put this on the wall. I wanted to make sure I let you know that. And it's a very textured plastic, so you don't have to sand it down first if you are going to paint it, which I am this time. So first, let's get the beads on. So I like to start in the center when I do this. This is the best way to make sure that they're going to be even. If you start on the end, you really don't know where you're going to end up. So I put one in the middle and one on each end. And then I put one in the middle between each of those, and the same thing between each of those. And this way I can see how many beads will fit without having to take them off and rearrange them. And this came from trial and error and figuring out what worked best. So if I can save you any time, that's what I'll do. So there you go. I did the same thing on the two sides. And now I've got all the beads that I want on there. I'm going to take this Amy Howard at Home, kind of an off-white paint, and I'm going to paint it on. It doesn't have to be like super, super solid coverage because we are going to distress this. Now, I did end up covering it for the most part, but even if a little bit of the black showed, I was okay with that because of the fact that we're going to distress it. So there you go. That, there's a little bit you can't probably see on camera, but I painted everything, including a little bit on the back, which I didn't really need to. And I love the texture that the brush I used created, so it even makes it have like a little bit of a wood feel. I'm going to take my Waverly Steel chalk paint. It's just a gray. I'm going to use that to distress. So I'm just going to put a little on my brush, wipe most of it off, and then drag it across, and that's dry brushing. And you can do that as heavy or as light as you want. And I just wanted it to have that farmhouse distress look. I think this is turning out so beautiful. And who would ever think this was a plastic floating shelf from the Dollar Tree? So here you'll see when it's all finished being distressed. Doesn't that look so nice? I love it. You could put anything you want on this. I showed here in a moment with a candle, but just think of the possibilities. You could put florals, whatever you want, pictures, anything. I think these shelves are so versatile, and I love this one because it's so farmhouse. Dollar Tree jumbo sticker hack. I've got these beautiful gold leaf leaves. I love them. Gold leaf leaves. Did I just say that? Anyway, you know what I mean. I've got a picture frame that I already had a picture, and it was just a plain white frame, kind of boring. So I thought this would be fun to dress this up. So these are going to be the easiest, fastest hacks you can do with these stickers. Why spend lots of time when you can just do something quick and easy when you just have, half an hour or so to craft and you want to do something? So I'm going to start cutting these leaves out, and I'm just going to place them individually. First, I'm going to do the four corners because I like things in the corners, just offset them slightly. So I'm going to do it like partially on the top and bend it over to the side of the corners. I'm having trouble talking today. Have you noticed? Anyway, I'm going to put those on there. And then I'm going to add some more leaves just in those center areas. Again, I tend to be a little bit on the symmetrical side when I do things. You don't have to be. I was just trying to find a way where they'd fold over evenly without hitting that corner literally. So that's why I picked the areas that I picked to do. Anyway, do this any way you want. And I feel like this just really takes a very plain, basic frame, and there's nothing wrong with that. I've used this frame for years with this picture, and then just looked at it the other day and thought, I could do something very simple to this. And this is just about as simple as it gets, just adding these different leaves. I just wanted to thank you for being here. You know how much I appreciate you. I enjoy spending this time with you. I hope you enjoy it as well. I love the comments you leave for me and the questions you ask. It's so much fun to interact with you. So I do appreciate it. I'm going to cover this with some clear glaze, and that's it. I put my picture back in. Some of my very closest friends who live in Minnesota, where I used to live. And if you want to see me back when I was 50, I'm the one on the far right. Let me know if this is something you might like to try. Ready for more inspiration? Here's another video I think you'll really like. If you click on it, I will see you there. You are truly a blessing to me. Bye.